wish I could book like an action movie so I could literally be like some sort of action star or just like, yeah, fingers crossed.
Hello, Madeleine. Tim from Popcorn Podcast. So great to meet you.
Great meeting you.
Gwen is the emotional center of this sequel,
Yeah.
and trauma and PTSD are big and important themes of the story. What is a layer to Gwen's own trauma that you wanted to portray as authentically as possible in your performance?
I really wanted to show the fact that is so completely different from the first movie. The first movie, she was very social. I would definitely have considered her like a popular girl at school. And now she's very reserved and anxious and insecure in the second movie. And she's dealing with being bullied at school, but also trying to be there for her brother and his PTSD and the trauma that he went through and how it shaped him. And so I feel like I really wanted to portray how she's trying to balance out all these things as such a young girl. She's trying to balance regular teen life and also deal with this insanely traumatic event that happened to them in the past and trying to overcome that. But she's also having these dreams and she doesn't know why she's having these visions. And so, yeah, I really wanted to show that she's really just a teenage girl trying to navigate and balance out all these heavy things in her life.
I personally love how strong and determined Gwen is, like using her gift.
One of my favorite characteristics about her, for sure.
Yeah, she's so determined. She is hell-bent on helping others to uncover the truth. And you portray that tenacity and determination really well. And I also love how, like, the horror genre is unafraid to tackle these themes and approach these sorts of things.
I totally agree. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I love Black Phone so much, or like the Black Phone movies, is that even though they are, horror movies, they deal with such darker and deeper topics. And I feel like that's so important to include, especially Scott and Cariel are such amazing, talented writers. And I love that even though it is about this serial killer, this murderer, who abducts children, at the end of the day, Gwen and Finney are the heart of the movie. Like, it is about their sibling relationship, and we don't see movies about that very often, especially horror movies. And I feel like that's why Black Phone resonated so much the first time around.
Such a hit, and everyone has been on tenterhooks for the sequel. Now, you mentioned your dreams before. Without spoiling anything, like, much of the film and your performance takes place in your dreams versus in reality. How did you approach your performance differently when Gwen was in her dream state versus when Gwen was in reality?
In her dream state, she's definitely more out of place. She's kind of doesn't know what to do when she's in her dreams. I feel like nothing really prepares you when you are dreaming. You don't know how anything is going to turn out. You don't know how anything's going to go. But also, I wanted every single time that she's in her dreams, I wanted it to feel different. And I wanted her wake-up scenes to also feel different. That was something me and Scott talked about a lot when shooting, was how we wanted to differentiate all of the dream sequences and make her reactions so completely different from each dream, which was honestly quite challenging. But I mean, she goes through different things in all the dreams, so that kind of helped.
Doesn't she just? And it escalates, right? Like, so your reaction and performance would naturally, alter.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and there's also that really interesting blurring of lines between dream and reality, especially as we progress through the story. So that's a really interesting layer too.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things was how Scott used the Super 8 to differentiate her REM world to her real life world. I just think that was so genius. And, that way, how could you possibly get confused of like when she's dreaming and when she's not? It's also so beautifully shot.
It's so clear visually, and as a film nerd, like diving into Super 8, in those moments was really cool.
Same here. I thought it was like magical on screen.
Yeah. Now, in the first film, you never shared any scenes with Ethan Hawke. That's right.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in this one, you have many interactions with the grabber.
Yes, I do.
And Ethan is as terrifying as ever, my lord. What was your experience like working with Ethan Hawke?
I talked about this a little bit ago, how in the first movie, I only got to see him on camera. Like, I never got to work with him. And so I kind of had this image of him in my head, as the grabber and as this like scary, terrifying guy. And so when I was going to work with him on set, I was a little nervous, not only because it was, the one and only Ethan Hawke, But because I'd only seen him as the grabber, like, or that's the closest I had seen him to in person, was seeing him as the grabber. So I was a little nervous and a little intimidated. But when I actually when I met him and got to work with him, he was so beyond kind and caring, and he always made sure I was okay. And I mean, it was really interesting seeing him, how he can go from like, Training Day. That movie is one of my,
Yeah.
that is easily in my top five. And seeing how he approaches characters so differently, like the grabber is so different from anything he's ever played. And so I just
Yeah.
feel like it's really inspiring to me as an actor, seeing how differently he's able to turn into these characters and really just become them. I mean, and the
Mhm.
grabber this time around is so insanely terrifying. Um,
Got
Way
chills.
scarier than the first one. Way scarier.
Way scary. Just on that, like he was completely unrecognizable behind all those
Yeah.
prosthetics too, because obviously the grabber
Yes.
has gone through his own thing
Yeah.
between movies.
Uh-huh.
Like I was leaning in, going, "Is that Ethan Hawke?"
No, I know. And
Because he
see,
was like,
that's something that made it more scary, was that I never knew when he was in character or when he wasn't, because he always has the mask on. And so it's so hard to tell. He'd be like sitting on the stairs in the basement, and I was sitting on the mattress, and I was just like looking at him, and he was just like humming and like looking around. I'm like, is he trying to be terrifying? Because it is working.
there's something, that visual of Ethan in the mask humming, like that is equally terrifying.
It is so scary.
What song was he humming? Like, did he have a go-to?
I don't know. He would whistle and hum the same song on set majority of the times that I saw him though. I should have
Okay.
asked him, like, what are you humming?
Maybe that was part of his
But I was a
process. Who
little
knows?
scared. So
Yeah, naturally. Um, Now, and similarly, as the story requires it, you work more closely in different ways with Mason Thames as Finn this time
Mhm.
around too. How
Yeah,
did you enjoy that experience together as young actors? Because, the tone is so much darker.
it definitely is. This time around, in ways, we were able to keep things lighter
Hmm.
sometimes. um, we worked together in the first film, but we work together a lot more in this one, which I feel like was
Yeah.
nicer because we already obviously knew each other from the first movie, so you're already comfortable with the actor you're acting with opposite. It was definitely interesting seeing Gwen and Finney's relationship grow and how they are now trauma bonded.
Yeah.
Um, but it was also really cool to get to see how they are so different than they were in the first movie. And I feel like as actors, that's something really important to take a deeper approach to, is that these years that have gone by that we haven't been playing them, but it's changed them drastically. And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, definitely challenging for me as an actor coming back to Gwen after such a long time. And I thought of like backstories and things that she was going through in that time span before shooting. Um, but yeah, no, I love Gwen and Finney's relationship in the movies so much. And I feel like I was saying, they are the core of the movie. They are the heart of the movie. And I mean, their sibling bond is just so important. And it's what keeps them, pushing and keeps them going throughout the movie. That is
Yeah.
like literally, I feel like some people don't see it, but I mean, the plot of the movie is really them like looking out for each other, and they
Yeah.
are continuing to push and being defiant because of one another. They rely on
Yeah.
each other so much. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't see that.
You guys are so good on screen, and seeing the time between your performances 4 years ago to now, it's a natural progression. I just have one very quick thing to wrap up with. Your
Yes.
physicality, your stunt work is amazing. You get thrown around a lot in this movie.
Thank you.
How much of that was you, and are you okay?
Almost all of it was me, and yes, I am doing fantastic. Stunts are easily one of my favorite things to do ever. I wish I could book like an action movie so I could
Oh,
literally
yes.
be like some sort of action star, or just like, yeah, fingers crossed. So getting to take that on was so important for me, and I was filled with excitement, and it was just so exhilarating, all of it. But yeah, there was only like two things in the movie that actually weren't me, and those were the spinning scenes. But the rest,
Oh,
it was all me. I got to do all of it thanks to Scott and Cargill, our fantastic stunt coordinator Bronco. They trusted me enough, and there were times where they were constantly asking me if I was okay or if I could do
that's
another take,
good.
and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, come on, let's do like eight more.
Well, well done. And I'm manifesting an action movie for you very
Thank
soon,
you.
Madeleine.
Thank you.
Congrats on Black Phone 2. Your performance is brilliant. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
so much. Thank you. It was lovely chatting with you.